Train to Busan. 2-7-0-1. 5 years after the outbreak that devastated the Korean peninsula, the quarantine zones along the southern coast remained heavily guarded, monitored day and night by drones and patrol boats. Rumors spread of isolated survivors still trapped inland, cut off from the rest of the world by the undead hordes that ruled the abandoned cities. Despite the government's warnings, a covert rescue organization known as the Lantern formed, dedicated to extracting those left behind. Their latest mission: infiltrate the ruins of Busan, where a distress signal had been detected. One believed to come from a group of survivors that included a missing virologist who might hold the key to slowing the infection. 2. Captain Ji-won, a former naval officer haunted by the loss of his daughter during the initial outbreak, volunteered to lead the operation. He gathered a small team of specialists: Jae-min, a tech expert with a talent for drones; Sua, a medic hardy, years of field rescues; and Min-ho, a reckless but fearless former firefighter whose instincts often saved him. Each carried old wounds and personal ghosts, yet all were driven by the hope that one life saved could someday lead to many more. 3. Their transport, a silent electric infiltration craft, slipped through the fog-covered waters toward the ruined port of Busan. Overgrown cranes leaned like skeletons against the skyline, and derelict ships floated half-submerged in the harbor. The city was motionless, but the team knew that silence in this world never meant safety. As they docked at a rusted cargo ramp, Ji-won reminded everyone: stay close, no noise, no sudden lights. The infected, though decaying, were still sensitive to sound. One mistake could summon hundreds. 4. Inside the port district, the team moved through maze-like containers, many smashed open or claw-marked. Jae-min's drone scanned the area, mapping potential threats. Suddenly, the screen flickered, large. Clusters of heat signatures, dormant but numerous, lay ahead. "They're hibernating," Jae-min whispered. The creatures seemed to sleep in tightly packed piles during daylight, conserving energy. Disturbing them would end the mission instantly. 5. As they traversed deeper into the desolate streets, they discovered evidence of recent activity: flesh footprints, makeshift shelters, and discarded ration packs. Someone was alive. Sua found a torn page from a medical log referencing experimental antiviral compounds developed before the collapse. Hope surged through the team. Perhaps the virologist had truly survived and continued their work in hiding. 6. Night fell fast. The team sheltered inside the wreckage of an old police station, barricading the doors with filing cabinets and desks. From outside came the chilling echoes of infected screams, some distant, some dangerously close. Min-ho kept watch on the second floor when he spotted movement below: a young girl, barely 12. Sprinting from alley to alley, clutching a small backpack. Behind her, a few awakened infected pursued her with jerky, animalistic movements. 7. Without hesitation, Min-ho burst from cover, dragging the girl inside moments before the creatures reached the entrance. Ji-won and Sua neutralized the immediate threat quietly, but the commotion triggered distant shrieks that rippled across the district. The girl, panting and terrified, said her name was Unji and that she lived with other survivors in the old Busan subway system. The virologist, her mother, was still alive but gravely ill. With the horde now stirred, escaping the station became urgent. Jae-min deployed drones to create decoy noises, drawing infected toward collapsing buildings. Under the cover of chaos, the team followed Unji toward a hidden stairway leading underground. The tunnels, lit by flickering emergency lamps, revealed a fragile community of survivors who had carved out a life beneath the streets. Their leader, an elderly station master named Mr. Han, recognized Ji-won as the rescuers the world forgot. Suah examined Unji's mother, feverish, weakened, but alive. Despite her condition, she had continued her research using old laboratory equipment salvaged from a university. Her antiviral compound showed promise in slowing early-stage infection, but she lacked the supplies and transport to finalize it. Ji-won realized their mission had grown. They not only had to evacuate the survivors, but protect the research that could reshape humanity's fight for survival. At dawn, the infected swarmed the subway entrances, drawn by the previous night's commotion. With time running out, Ji-won devised a desperate plan. Lure the majority of the horde toward the abandoned train line, then reactivate an old cargo train to blast through the blockade and reach the extraction point. As engines roared for the first time in years and the undead flooded the tunnels, the survivor boarded the train, their train to hope, to escape, and to the world beyond Busan. The tracks ahead were uncertain, but for the first time in years, they carried more than fear. They carried possibility.